U.S. inflation accelerated to a fresh 40-year high in May, a sign that price pressures are becoming entrenched in the economy. That will likely push the Federal Reserve to extend an aggressive series of interest rate hikes and adds to political problems for the White House and Democrats. The Consumer Price Index increased 8.6% from a year earlier in a broad-based advance, Labor Department data showed Friday. The widely followed inflation gauge rose 1% from a month earlier, topping all estimates. Shelter, food and gas were the largest contributors. The so-called core CPI, which strips out the more volatile food and energy components, rose 0.6% from the prior month and 6% from a year ago, also above forecasts. There's little respite from four-decade high inflation until energy and food costs simmer down and excess demand pressures abate in response to tighter monetary policy, Sal Guattari, senior economist at BMO Capital Markets, said in a note. The Fed might still raise policy rates, just 50 bits per second next week, but it could easily ratchet up the pace beyond then if inflation keeps surprising to the high side. In May, prices for necessities continue to rise at double-digit paces. Energy prices climbed 34.6% from a year earlier, the most since 2005, including a nearly 49% jump in gasoline costs. Gas prices so far in June have climbed to new highs, signaling more upward pressure in coming CPI reports and therefore keeping the Fed in the hot seat. Grocery prices rose 11.9% annually, the most since 1979, while electricity increased 12%, the most since August 2006. Rent of primary of residence climbed 5.2% from a year earlier, the most since 1987. There are growing risks that price pressures in those categories will continue to build. Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine, as well as stepped-up related sanctions, potential port disruption due to the upcoming West Coast dockworker contract expiration, COVID-related lockdowns in China and drought and could all contribute to higher prices for food and energy. That likely spells further trouble for President Joe Biden, whose approval ratings have sunk to new lows ahead of midterm elections later this year. While the job market remains a bright spot, decades-high inflation is crippling confidence among the American people and largely outpacing wage gains.